Hi guys, and welcome. This is our training video on how to use AEFIS for assessment reporting. I want to welcome all of you to this training. If you're watching this, it is probably because you are involved in the academic assessment process, and I want to thank you for being a part of that process. I know that it can be very difficult and complicated, as well as rewarding and fun because you get to work with me. So without any further delay, let's go ahead and get this started. All right. Using AEFIS for academic assessment, writing and submitting assessment reports. And this is coming to you from the OIARP office, or better known as the Office of Institutional Assessment, Research and Planning. Now, first and foremost, if you are trying to get into your academic assessment report, you have to log into AEFIS. So that website, and please use Google Chrome or Mozilla Firefox in order to log in, is tamu.aefis.net. Again, please use Google Chrome or Mozilla Firefox. Personally, I always use Chrome, hasn't given me any issues, but that is tamu.aefis.net. As well as remember to have your Duo Connect handy. So if you use your office phone, please be sure that you are actually in your office, because you will need to use your UConnect login in order to get into AEFIS. So once you log in, this is how it would look. Of course, this is my page, so I probably have a lot more action items than you yourself will have. As a reminder, if this is your first time, when you log in, you're going to be looking at your action items. That's actually where you're going to be able to find your program assessment report of which you'd like to turn in. So how do you get into your action items? Well, first and foremost, you're going to be looking for your assessment report. As you can see, here's this one example, Annual Assessment of Academic Programs. Now it actually says 2021 Academic Program Assessment. So you're looking for that program. As you can see, there's all these different names here. You're looking for your particular one. This is the example program, Carol's example program. So how do you actually get in? Guys, you're going to click on the pencil, right? It's right here. You're going to go ahead and click on that pencil, and that's going to take you into your assessment report. But I do want to make sure and note, guys, that you are looking for step 6. If your plan, or excuse me, if your program is not on step 6, as you can see, some of these are on step 4. Please reach out to my office. It is possible that maybe your report actually got denied in the planning stage, and you could actually be in step 3. So please reach out to me if you have any issues, and I'll make sure that you have my contact information at the end of this slide, well, at the end of this presentation. So if you don't have that problem and you already are in step 6, you're going to be entering in, clicking that pencil, and it's going to take you right to your assessment report page, which looks like this. It should have all the information from your plan, except that your plan would actually be locked in. I do want to remind everybody that as you are entering into your assessment report, take the time to actually read your feedback if you haven't done so already. You've already been provided feedback from 2 different sources. The first source being your department chair or your dean. That can be located directly beneath your assessment report. It's about midway on the page. And the second source that has given you feedback is our assessment office. So please take that time, read into the rubric, the scoring that you've received on the rubric, as well as at the very bottom, you'll see your overall score in each of those domains being mission, program learning outcome, measures, and benchmarks. You will see your score overall for those domains, as well as commentary. This is just an example. You can see here, this is one program that received a 3 on their mission score and some commentary on that. I strongly suggest please read the feedback. This is going to help you as you go forward into the reporting stages, as well as your assessment planning for 21-22. So once you've actually read your feedback, it's time to actually get started on that assessment report, which is the whole reason why we're here. And what is that assessment report? It's actually entering in your findings from the 2020-2021 academic year. as well as your department or your program's action plans based off of those findings going forward into the fall 2021, spring 2022 academic year. So what you will find this year, if you were a program coordinator last year, you will see that now beneath your measure and each of your measures, you will find your findings box. So you'll no longer be able to edit the plan as it was previously, but now you will be able to see that below here, this is an example, right? We got our advisors, Rachel Green and Phoebe Buffet, your friend's fan, I am. This is that information. And right below that, you can actually see your findings box. This is where you're going to enter in the information of how your measure did. How did your measure score? And so how do we do that? Let's move forward with that. Again, I put a little GIF there for fun, pointing it out. You're looking for the findings box. This is where you're going to enter in your results. So entering in your findings, as you saw in the previous, you can see here, there is a select an option. I've just zoomed into that. What you're going to do is you're going to click that select an option, and you're going to see two options, benchmark met or benchmark not met. You would have to click one of those options. And actually, guys, you would not be able to submit your assessment report unless you actually entered in one of these answers for the drop-down box. Now, remember, if you were unable to collect data, you would put benchmark not met. We are looking to change that for the 21-22 school year, but as of right now, you would still select benchmark not met if you were unable to collect any data for that measure. Moving forward, so after you have selected your drop down, as you can see, here's my example of the benchmark met, right? Benchmark met, there we go. Now it's time to enter in your findings. So below that drop box, you'll see here is a text box for you to enter in your findings. We strongly suggest, remember that we are writing this for people who are outside of our program, outside of TAMU. We're writing this for our stakeholders, for people who are outside of the university to be able to read this with ease. So we would like to start your first sentence of your findings matching your benchmark. So what does that mean? For example, if your benchmark was 75% of students will score an average of 3 or higher on all reporting elements, and your findings were 83%, then you would say 83% of students scored an average of 3 or higher on all reporting elements. You want the benchmark to match the findings. That doesn't mean that the results match, guys. It just means that the sentence structure matches, because then we can see immediately benchmark met, benchmark not met. Then you can start getting into the details of those findings. As you can see, this example, we've given some details. What was our N number? How did each of the students individually score? And that gives you some more insight, as well as what we want to start aiming towards is that our courses that are face-to-face and hybrid or online. I know that this past year is a little bit different, but we would like to maybe compare how are our face-to-face students scoring on this, and how are our online distance learning students scoring on this. Is there a difference? This can help you when you're putting in these findings and creating an action plan. Maybe some of the stuff that's working with our face-to-face is not working with the distance education, or vice versa. So the more information and data that you're able to present on the overall findings, the better it will be for your team as you go forward into creating these action plans. Speaking of, now it's time to enter in your action plan. So below the findings box, you will actually find a text box, and it'll be marked action plans. As before, we have now included 4 questions, which will help you to decipher the results based off of any sort of learning activities, any sort of curriculum changes, any sort of different ways that these students were having to learn in the 2020-2021 school year. And this is where you actually, as a group, get to reflect on that. And I want to mention that again, as a group. The reason I say that is because if you are a department or a program of more than one person, which a lot of you are, you cannot make these decisions alone. program assessment is not meant to be done in a silo. Program assessment is meant to be done as a group. It's meant to be discussed as a group. And that is what we in our office and SACSIOC, our accreditor, is looking for. They're looking for a conglomerate effort of all of the faculty involved in teaching our students, reflecting on these results and deciding how can we continuously improve based off of these results. That's another PowerPoint for another day. Right now, we're just learning about how to use AEFIS, but I did want to mention that those 4 questions must be addressed. Let me repeat that, must be addressed. Now you have 2 options when you want to address them. You can either address them by answering each one, 1, 2, 3, 4, or you can address them in a paragraph instead of answering it as a 1, 2, 3, 4, whichever makes you, the writer, more comfortable as the program coordinator, or the group as a whole. I would strongly suggest it's easier for me to do 1, 2, 3, 4, but that doesn't mean that it's easiest for you. Many of our program coordinators last year did do paragraph format, but I did see some discrepancies about addressing each of the 4 questions. So just make sure that when you're writing your action plans for each of these measures findings, that you are addressing each of the 4 questions. Here's some examples of that here. Here's the 1, 2, 3, 4 method, as well as the paragraph method. I do want to mention that I am well aware that measures are being tested for each of our outcomes. So sometimes 2 measures within 1 outcome could have the same ways of how it affected the results, as well as the same action plans. But we need to see that clearly in your writing. What do I mean by that? So let's say, for example, we're talking about writing, and we're talking about how our students' writing is going out throughout our WIN courses, and we have 2 different WIN courses. And we make a decision as a group that we're going to workshop our students' writing within the class, then that could be an action plan for both measures. So it would be the same action plan because we're focusing on 1 outcome. So just keep that in mind as you're writing. I am aware that sometimes the answers can be the same, but it shouldn't be a copy paste for the entire assessment report. Please address every single one of these questions individually as a group, meaning reflect on the responses that you're getting, reflect on the results, that you're receiving on that measure, and make decisions based off of that. That's what we want to see here in this office. And again, that's what our accreditors want to see. So that's what we're looking at when you enter in these responses. Last but not least, I want to talk about managing artifacts. So those are the only 2 steps that you have to do for your assessment report: writing in your findings, writing in your action plans, but they're actually the most difficult. Don't forget that you are also asked to upload supporting documentation. So this is what I'm actually about to go into right now. If you're working in a group and maybe your action plan results and findings are going to be entered in by you, but you have a second coordinator who will also be entering in any information, you can actually use the managing artifacts button, which is up here as I've highlighted, to either assign that to another faculty member or to make some notes as well, because that is available through AEFIS. So I just wanted to go over that really quickly so you guys knew that you can do this. So first and foremost, creating tasks, which means tasking that other coordinator or that other faculty member or chair even with a task within AEFIS with this assessment report. Or if you would like to add notes, they both are the same. They both work very similarly, except for with notes, it's just writing in notes. And with tasks, you actually have the ability to put a due date as well as assign the person to the task. Okay, guys. So how do you do that? Remember, you're going to push this button right here at the very top right-hand corner, and you're going to see tasks or notes or documents, but we'll get into documents right now. So if you wanted to create a task, you would click the add button here, and this will open up this box right here. As you can see, it says enter a task title, task deadline. You have task details that you can type out here, as well as assigning this task to the person you needed to assign it to. All right, guys, and once you're done, you would click save. And that's it. It will send an email automatically to that faculty member or to that staff member and let them know that you've assigned a task to them in AEFIS, and they will come out on their action items. With the notes, it does not have this or that. It only has details. You'd be able to write in any notes and it saves onto the plan itself. For uploading supporting documentation, as I mentioned, it's very similar. You click on the Managing Artifacts button at the top right-hand corner. You'll see Documents. You will click Add. This box will appear. And from there, you can click on this box, which will then open up your folders, which you can select multiple items to drop into the folder, or you can drag them from the folder into this box here without clicking if you already had your folders open in order to upload this documentation. Again, you can select multiple items, so please be aware of that. The titles that you have in your computer are the titles that will transfer over to AEFIS. Printing or sharing. If you were trying to export your assessment report, we did want to let you know that that is possible. By clicking the export button, you are able to pull up this here. This button here will give you print or PDF. I technically like to do print, and then I put save as PDF. It tends to work a little bit better than the PDF version itself. It's up to you what you would like to do. We normally suggest maybe doing this after you've submitted, but it is up to you, and this is how you would be able to do that. And again, this is just another example here. Export, print, PDF, and now you also have the option of the CSV. Once you're done entering in all your report information, at the very bottom, you will see the Submit the Form button. So all you would have to do at that point is click the Submit the Form, and at that point it will say, are you sure? You will say yes, and it will submit the form. If you forgot anything or left anything blank, it will actually not let you submit. So it will inform you what it is that you forgot to fill out. Again, there's only 3 things: the drop down, the findings box, and the action plan box. Once you submit, this will be sent to your either chair or dean, depending on who reviews your academic assessment plans, and reports. And at that point, it will be gone from your desktop. You would no longer see it on your AEFIS dashboard. But a lot of you submit this and then don't know where it is, because at that point it goes to your chair or your dean. So these next slides are to show you where to find that. So what you're going to do is you're going to scroll to the widget titled My Data Collection Forms. This will probably be blank because you no longer have any that are in your action items to do. They've actually been sent to the department chair or the dean. So what you want to do is you're going to click on this 3 vertical buttons and select In Progress Forms. At that point, you would be able to see your report as it is. And right now it would be actually not step 8, but it would be step 7, because that's sitting with your chairs or your deans. You would click the pencil. You wouldn't be able to edit anything that you have uploaded, but you would be able to print. You would be able to save it onto your own computer. So that way you have a copy before you submitted it to the chair, or after you've submitted it to the chair, excuse me. And I just want to play this short video if it lets me. No, it didn't. So no video for you guys today, but reminder that if you have any questions about this PowerPoint, it will be uploaded to our website. As you can see, there's the website right here. As well as this video is uploaded to the website, and my contact information. So if you ever need to get a hold of me, my email is carol.beatty@tamu.edu, and my phone number is 956-326-2336. I've been here 4 years and I still don't know my number. So yes, guys, feel free to reach out to me for anything you need. And I am available for appointments. If you're interested in making a one-on-one appointment with me, as I've said in my emails, feel free to do so. We can meet together. We can meet in Zoom, whatever fits your preference, and we can go over your assessment reporting for the 2020-2021 school year. So that finishes everything I had to talk to you guys about today. I thank you for being the best part of TAMU, and I look forward to speaking with you guys. If you have any questions, or if you just want to call my office, feel free. Thank you guys so much. I'll see y'all later.